Your body is burning calories right now, and most people have absolutely no idea they are wasting it. Take a breath. Feel that? That is your metabolism, working silently, continuously, without a single instruction from your conscious mind. It has been doing this since the moment you were born. And yet, somehow, we have convinced ourselves that it is broken, slow, or working against us. It is not. It is simply waiting for the right signals, the right environment, the right tiny cues that tell it, now is the time to ignite. Tonight, we are not going to talk about extreme diets or punishing workouts. We are going to talk about something far more interesting, the quiet science of small habits, and why the tiniest daily decisions carry the most extraordinary biological weight. Think about what happens the moment you drink a glass of cold water first thing in the morning. Not after breakfast, not alongside a supplement, but right then, before the day has had a chance to pull you anywhere. Most people reach for that glass and think only of hydration, of thirst, of habit. But inside your body, something far more remarkable is already in motion. The moment that cold liquid crosses your lips and travels down into your core, your internal temperature drops ever so slightly, and your nervous system registers the shift immediately. What follows is a quiet but measurable biological response. Your body begins generating heat, burning fuel, working to bring that water up to its own operating temperature, which is close to 37 degrees Celsius. Scientists call this process diet-induced thermogenesis. And research has shown it can temporarily elevate metabolic rate by as much as 30% for up to 40 uninterrupted minutes. That number might sound modest, but pause for a moment and consider what it actually means. A calorie-burning window, open for nearly an hour, triggered by nothing more than a glass of water. No membership required, no equipment, no motivation beyond the simple act of lifting something to your mouth. The body does not ask for elaborate conditions in order to perform. It asks for signals, clear and consistent signals. And cold water in the morning is one of the oldest and most honest signals you can give it. A whisper that the day has begun, that energy is needed, that it is time to... Now let us talk about something that happens before most people have even opened their eyes. Or rather, something that should happen the moment they do. Light. Natural light, not the kind from a phone screen or a fluorescent ceiling panel, but from the sun itself, pouring through a window or falling across your face as you step outside. Your metabolism is not a machine that switches on when you start eating. It is a rhythm, a deeply biological rhythm governed by something called your circadian clock. This internal timekeeper lives in a region of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it is exquisitely sensitive to light. When natural light enters your eyes in the first hour of waking, it sends a cascade of signals through your nervous system that helps synchronize your metabolic processes for the entire day ahead. Studies have found that people who receive more morning light exposure tend to have lower body mass indices, better regulated cortisol cycles, and more consistent energy metabolism throughout the day. The light itself is not burning fat. What it is doing is something more elegant. It is setting the internal clock that governs when your body is primed to digest, absorb, and burn. When that clock is poorly set, metabolism drifts out of rhythm. When it is well set, everything runs with a kind of biological grace. So the habit is simple. Go outside or stand by a bright window within 30 minutes of waking. Let the light in, not as a wellness trend, as a biological instruction your ancient body has been waiting for since the day you were born. Let us spend a moment with something most people do without much thought. Breakfast. More specifically, what is in that breakfast? Because here is a fact about food that does not get nearly enough attention. Different nutrients require different amounts of energy simply to be digested. This is called the thermic effect of food, and protein sits at the very top of this biological hierarchy. When you eat carbohydrates, your body uses roughly 5 to 10% of those calories just to process them. Fats demand even less, about 3 to 5%. But protein is extraordinary. It demands between 20 and 35% of its own caloric value just to be broken down, transported, and utilized. That means a 200-calorie serving of eggs or Greek yogurt costs your body 40 to 70 calories just in the act of digesting it. And the food itself is doing metabolic work for you. But there is more. Protein at breakfast suppresses ghrelin, your hunger hormone, far more effectively than carbohydrates or fats do. It also triggers the release of peptide YY, a satiety signal that tells your brain, calmly and firmly, that you do not need more food for hours. The result is not just a faster metabolism in the morning. It is a more regulated, more measured metabolic conversation between your gut and your brain for the rest of the day. Think of protein at breakfast not as a diet rule, but as a piece of biological intelligence. Your body already knows how to use it. You simply need to provide it. Here is the part of this conversation that most people miss entirely, and it might be the most important one. When researchers study total daily energy expenditure, they find something startling. For most people, the biggest variable in how many calories they burn each day is not their workout. It is everything else: the standing, the walking, the fidgeting, the pacing during a phone call, the choosing of stairs over elevators. Scientists have given this a name: non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. And it can vary by as much as 2,000 calories per day between two people of similar body size. 2,000 calories. That is the difference between someone who moves through their day with quiet, constant motion and someone who sits from morning to night. The profound thing about NEAT is that it does not feel like exercise. It does not require motivation, gym clothes, or a scheduled time slot. It simply requires an awareness, a gentle, conscious awareness, that your body was designed for movement. Not the intense, deliberate movement of sport, but the slow, continuous, life-affirming movement of a human being living an active existence. A 2-minute walk after every meal, standing while on a call, taking the longer route, stretching in the afternoon. Each of these acts is small. But your metabolism does not experience them as small. It experiences them as a continuous signal that you are alive, upright, and engaged, and it responds accordingly, hour by hour, calorie by calorie. We have talked about what you eat, how you move, and how light reshapes your body from the inside. Now let us talk about the one habit most people sacrifice without realizing the full biological cost: sleep. Not just for rest, for metabolism. During deep, slow-wave sleep, the human body releases the majority of its daily growth hormone, a compound whose primary job in adults is to regulate fat metabolism and preserve lean muscle tissue. When sleep is shortened or broken, growth hormone secretion drops. Simultaneously, cortisol, your stress hormone, rises. Cortisol instructs the body to preserve fat, particularly in the abdominal region, and to break down muscle tissue instead. The metabolic mathematics of poor sleep are precise and unforgiving. Less muscle means a lower resting metabolic rate. It's because muscle is metabolically expensive tissue. It burns calories simply by existing. A single night of poor sleep reduces leptin, your satiety hormone, and elevates ghrelin, your hunger hormone, by measurable, significant amounts. The next day, your body craves more food because it is trying to compensate for an energy deficit it cannot explain. You did not eat more because of weakness. You ate more because your biology demanded it. That is not a failure of discipline. That is the perfectly logical consequence of asking your body to function without the resources it needs. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is not a luxury. It is the night shift your metabolism has always been running, repairing, regulating, and restoring the very biological machinery that determines how efficiently you burn energy the next day. And every habit we have explored tonight becomes more powerful when it is built on a foundation of genuine, restorative sleep. Your metabolism does not stop when you close your eyes. In many ways, that is exactly when its most important work begins. Are you giving your metabolism the night it needs, or quietly stealing its most productive hours. These are not hacks. They are not shortcuts. They are invitations, quiet, consistent, profoundly human invitations for your body to do what it has always been capable of doing. Not through force, not through deprivation, but through the simple, dignified act of working with your biology rather than against it. The metabolism is not your enemy. It is your oldest, most faithful biological partner. Understand it, respect it, give it the cold water, the morning light, the protein, the movement, the sleep. And it will work with you in ways that no supplement, no trend, and no extreme intervention ever could.